Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. This is the third day in our masterclass. My name is Dennis Aguma. I'm the founder and the executive director here at NACE. I wouldn't want to put my video on because at the moment the lighting is absolutely terrible, but not least the most important stuff is available on the slides, as you can see. So today's session is about the business model canvas. It will be moderated by my colleague, Collins, who I will be who I'll be introducing very shortly, but it's supposed to be presented by another colleague of ours from Makere Innovation and Incubation Center, Alan Lule. Alan is running slightly late, so I'm going to pick up the things from here until he's able to join us. Perhaps worth to recap from the previous sessions that we've had. These slides are from the first slides that I did earlier about NACE and how we used to deliver some of our sessions in the past. But of course, with COVID-19, we can't possibly do what you're looking at right now. These are some of the stuff that we've been involved in, dealing with university students who actually go out and bring out real products and services to the market. But now, of course, everything is virtual. What's your idea? That's the tagline we've been running with the Youth Ideathon. And we did mention on Monday in some of my slides that we're looking for you guys to come up with products and services that hit this particular sweet spot here, which is where desirability, feasibility, and viability of your idea, where that meets is the exact sweet spot. We did share what each of those meant, desirability being producing something that people actually want or need, and feasible, as well as viable. And we explained what each of those actually means. We went on to talk about the design thinking process that we follow, and we did emphasize that stage number one is empathy or empathize, putting yourself in the shoes of the person for whom you're designing the product or service before you even go ahead to define who that, what the different customer segments are, and then obviously ideate, prototype, test, and if the results from the test suggest that you need to go back to ideate or go back to define or go back to change the prototype, so be it. It might actually suggest from the results that you want to go back to the first stage. You want to do this as quickly as possible so that you take your product and service to the market as soon as possible, or abandon it altogether. It's better to quickly discover that this is a no-goer, abandon it and pick up something else. Even that's a good result. At this point, by the way, can I check that live transcript is available? Maybe Peter or Albert, if you can help me, just make sure that, okay, that facility needs to be available for people with some kind of disability or the ones that prefer to read the script, because sometimes our accents can be very interesting for different people, as we had yesterday. So the value proposition canvas was fantastically demonstrated by Laura from Startup Africa. And if you recall, one of the things that she was talking about, the customer jobs to be done, the gains, the pains, and that your product or service should meet and fit into each of those perfectly. So if the customer pain, let's say, is to, they are hungry, then your pain reliever might be something that sorts that out, perhaps food, or you taking them to where the food is, something like that. And there are two sides to this. The side number one on the right-hand side is about the customer. The one on the left is about the product or service. And you will be judged on this. We mentioned that you need to have two canvases. The first one is the value proposition canvas, and the second one is the business model canvas. And today's session is really about the business model canvas. It's about the value proposition that we did yesterday sits bang in the middle here in terms of the value proposition. And this, you think of it as the face of your business. If you had a shop, this would be the front shop. If you had a shop, this would be the back end, the key activities that are happening, the key resources, the key partners. And of course, this would be your cash or the bank situation. So I know that my colleague is the one who's supposed to deliver this. Let me just check, make sure that he's available. If he's not, then I'll inevitably have to end up delivering the session myself. But maybe at this stage, can I just take one or two questions from yesterday that were not answered very well, as we wait for Alan Lowe to join us. If he doesn't join us in about 10 minutes, then we can start on the session. I will deliver the session myself. Maybe if we start off with the chat facility. What were the key things that you learned from yesterday's session? If you can use the chat, what were some of the things that you learned from yesterday? Some of the things that you thought were not covered very well, so that I can look through the chats and maybe try and throw some more light as we wait for Alan to join us. If you can use the chat facility, that would be very helpful. I did not understand the customer jobs and gains. Okay, that's one. I need to listen to your customer. You need to listen to your customers. That's very important. You need to listen to your customers, understand your audience pain. That's very true. Zooming into specific problems and target clients. That's very true. Asking whys until you get to the actual problem. That's a very good observation, Aloysius. How to fine tune, how to be specific on the VPC. That's true. Understanding how you get through to your VP. Oh, interesting. Lots of charts. I learned how to present your idea. I need to know how to target my clients, how to be very specific, the cost structure, loads of charts coming through. Keep them coming. Some of my colleagues, Collins actually is looking at these as well, and he will be responding some of these. Good morning, Mr. Guma. I want to learn. Oh, they're coming in very fast. I want to learn how to fill my BMS, the business model canvas. Oh, fantastic. You're in the right place today. Alan, you learned about customer segments. Yes. VPC desire. I wanted to add a colleague. Where should I add her from? I think that's Joel Porter asking to panelists. If you want to add a colleague, just send the link that you received and they should be able to join in. I'm still looking through the chats. Talk to minute 5 potential customers and get feedback. Yes. Loads of chats. Understanding of the problem is the most important thing. Very true, Brian. The customer base of your idea, Eric. Moses is saying I wasn't clear on how to handle different customer segments on the value proposition canvas. Actually, that's a very good observation. You may want to make perhaps 2 different value proposition canvases depending on how far apart the different customer segments are. If the different customer segments are very far, for instance, I gave an example of tourism where you have young people, for instance, as well as old people or retired people. Those are 2 different segments, and your product or service that you want to deliver to these individuals might be different. For instance, the young people at university might want to be drinking as much alcohol as they possibly can. They probably couldn't care less how expensive the liquor is because they have budget issues. They want to be partying all night. But the retired people might want fine wine, fine dining. They prefer, sceneries as opposed to being out in the club in the middle of the night. So the product or service that you're going to deliver to each of these might be different. And that's why it's very important to do your customer segment. So you might find that instead of getting a product that serves everyone, that you're really focusing on just one particular customer segment. Colleagues, please let me know once Alan has joined us, because I'm just going through the chats as we wait for Alan. Perhaps Jimmy, if you could drop in and let me know as soon as Alan has joined us so that I can hand over the reins. I'm going through the messages right now. Please keep them coming. Kindly put more light on the customer gains. The gain, for instance, is, I used an example on Monday. If, for instance, I want to move from point A to point B, I want to move from Nigeria or Chiwatule to Kampala city center, do a job interview, and it starts raining. What happens if I don't make that trip? I won't have a job, will I? What happens if I make that trip? I will sit in the interview and potentially gain a job. So that's how you should be looking at the gains. If these jobs that this person is trying to do, the job in this case is to move from point A to point B. If that happens, what do I gain? I gain potentially a job. So that's how you should be looking at the value proposition canvas. And of course, the gains, the way you look at the gain is going to be different from for different products or different services. Okay, I'm carrying on looking through the messages. Please keep them coming at. You told us that we were supposed to submit our BMC in PDF, but the link we received is in Word. This is Nankunda Gerald. I don't think we can win on this one. If we send the PDF one, then other people want it in Microsoft Word documents. So really, it's up to you. You have both options. See what you make of them. You can actually type everything in Microsoft Word and save it as a PDF. If you don't know how to do that, please use Google. You should be able to do that. I learned that your business plan should be reliable and sustainable. That's Dennis Nyero. Another Dennis Okwi. We should put the amount in cost structure. Very good. No. Should we put the amount in cost structure? I think you're talking about the business model canvas. Again, we'll explain that. Alan Lule will explain that very shortly as soon as he joins us. Jimmy, please, could you get in touch with Alan and just give me some estimated time of arrival so that I know what I'm working with? That would be very helpful. Can I fill 2 customer jobs at once? This is Mo Amos asking, can I fill 2 customer jobs at once? Yes. The same product, the same customer might want several jobs done. So yes, you can do that, but make sure that you're talking about the same customer segment. So you can't have on the same value proposition canvas, multiple jobs for multiple customer segments. It gets a bit messy. So get a particular point and focus on it, and get the jobs to be done for that particular category or segment. Hello, Mr. Baguma. I think you meant Aguma. There's a huge difference between Baguma and Aguma. But carry on. Musazi Soya. Are we uploading the VPC and business model? Yes, you're uploading both the value proposition canvas and the business model canvas. And I think I did explain why that is very important. If you're looking at the the business model canvas right now on your screen, it has in the center value proposition. You can't possibly put as much information in that space that will give the judge a fantastic idea of the solution or the problems that you're trying to solve. It's a bit highly summarized. So you miss out on an opportunity to elaborate, to elucidate, to share more thoughts and insights about your idea. So we're asking everyone to submit both. Of course, you can stubbornly submit just the business model canvas, but do not complain when another guy who submits both and therefore makes it more clear, makes the idea more clear, ends up getting their hands on the 100 million and you don't, even though you think your idea was much better. I find it hard to see my idea in my account. I think tomorrow what we're going to do, we're going to resolve these IT issues once and for all, because quite a number of you have been asking the same question. And it's very funny because some of you are able to get in, others are not able to get in. Some of you can upload, others cannot upload. We think the platform is very intuitive, but maybe you might be using different, you could be using different, like if you're using a phone, you might have a different user experience than someone who's using a computer or something different. So we need to resolve this tomorrow once and for all. If people are not able to do so, we will have to open up a different option where maybe you can send an email instead and someone uploads it for you. We want to explore all options, but by all means, every idea must be submitted by Friday midnight, and there are no exceptions. If you miss the deadline, that's it. Alan Kisira, yesterday was amazing. I was challenged to think more deeply about the value I am offering, turning it around when the customers need. Yeah, yesterday was really very good session. Yes, good morning, Nace. Thank you. I didn't get exactly how to deal with an idea that targets government as the client or customer or organization like UNDP. I think the rules are the same. The rules are the same. The customer segments in this case would be either the third sector or the development partners or government. So the rules are really the same, regardless of whether you're going to the moon, whether you're in agriculture, ICT, the rules are the same. Should we present the same number of canvases that is equal to the ideas we submitted? This is Bruno Ignatius. Yes, you should. Annette Nabutsebi Mukama, they learned about customer relations and channels. Yes. Marvin Busurwa to panelists. I'm not receiving chats from other attendees. I think it's probably because you're chatting with panelists. If you change the functionality to chat with all, then you will be looking at the chats from everyone else. That's my assumption. Dominic Chimera, good morning. I want to learn how to fill the business model canvas. You're in the right place, Dominic. That's what Alan is going to do once he's joined us. Please let me know once Alan has joined us so that I can hand over the reins. But in the meantime, I'm going through the messages. Please keep those messages coming. There are quite a number, so maybe I should skip through them very quickly. I like the simplicity. Yes, it was very simple. I learned how to increase my customer base. Is it true that the customer is king? This is Mohozi Morris asking. Yes, the customer is king. And if the customer is not king, then you won't get paid. Simple as that. Customer jobs are the goals. Yes. The customer desires to achieve. William Walugaba is saying that me yesterday was fine. However, on Monday, I missed out on your last slides. So when you are doing the recap, I was looking forward to get there. Could I ask my colleague Ivy to post in the chat the link to the video on Monday? I think even the link to the video on Tuesday should be available from yesterday. So the videos are available on our YouTube channel. Actually, share the link, Ivy, to the YouTube channel so that participants can actually go there and gorge themselves on all the material from the master classes. Some of them, by the way, talking of which, you might find that going back to the master classes, you might learn a thing or two around your different segment or your different sector and things like that. Knowing the different...
Dennis.
Yes.
Sorry to interject. Just to respond to the person who said that they can't see chats from other participants. I just did that on purpose because yesterday we had some people who were sending in links asking others to join into some WhatsApp groups and the rest. So that's why I've disabled for now. They can only send to this.
Oh, okay.
If you like that activated, I can still make it for everyone to see what everyone is watching. That's fine.
I think it will enrich the user experience. So I would suggest we do that.
Okay.
Until, of course, it gets abused, then we turn it off. Okay. Jimmy, I'm still waiting to hear from Alan. I hope he's not in the attendees section. If you could please keep an eye on that and let me know how you're getting on with that one. Good morning, everyone. Edward from, yes, thank you very much. I feel that I'm gaining much as a business student, even before looking at the grant. To me, this knowledge is the bullseye. That's a very good compliment, Hilary. Thank you very much. And actually, that's one of the things we're trying to do, that of the 4,800 ideas, and as you know, there's more than 4,800 individuals listening in on some of these sessions. It's really not even about the grant. We hope that even if you don't make it to getting the grant, that you will have gotten something from these sessions and that you'll be a much better individual. Those that make it into our business incubation program, again, there will be lots of other opportunities for you to dig deeper into some of the aspects like the design thinking, helping you to prototype and things like that. Charlotte Ainemukama, in addition, he is in value addition, and I have to prepare 2 value proposition models for the farmers and my customers. Good, go for it, do it. Please be clear today about how to summarize the VPC in the business model canvas. Okay, and that is really what Alan is going to show you. But the value proposition is exactly what your idea is, the problem you're trying to solve, and how you're going to do it. It's really just a summary of what they did yesterday, but hopefully Alan will explain or elucidate on that. How do we access previous sessions? This is Stephen Kajuma. Yes, my colleague Ivy should have shared by now the link to our YouTube channel. And then you go and do and gorge yourself on some of the content. Agent, the templates received cannot be downloaded, but rather editable online. Is there a way we can download it and use it? Ivy, do you want to come in on this one and explain? My understanding is that these were sent either as an email attachment, which you should be able to download, or Ivy, are you able to share more light? Ivy, you are muted.
Yes, yes, Dennis, I can shed more light on that. So the templates are downloadable. What you do when you go to the link that was shared, there's the second on your left upper side, you'll find a word saying edit, and then you tap the edit, and then you'll be able to find the option to download it. So once you download it, you make sure that you enable editing, and then it will be editable. Because I made sure to upload Word documents, which are easier to edit.
Okay, so you sent editable. Why? I think we should send them just as an attachment. That way, everyone gets a copy of the same document, and they can do whatever they want to do with it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm carrying on. Please let me know once Alan has joined us, so that I can hand over the reins. I think we're now 24 minutes in, almost half an hour gone. I need more clarity on what to put under product and service. Can we put several services in the same canvas? Yes, your product, for instance, could be doing very many, it could be providing very many services. I'll give you an example. You might be providing a bus or shuttle service from Kampala to Kabale. And while that is taking me from Kampala to Kabale, on board, you might have DSTV, that's a service. You might have a provision of soft drinks, that could be another service. You might have Wi-Fi, that could be another service. So while the main service is taking me from here to Kabale, you could be providing other little services that form part of your revenue streams in the top right corner right there. Lydia, I missed out on orientation, how to use my account, tried logging in with the password shared, blah, blah, blah. I think all of this will be sorted out tomorrow, or at least in the latter part of these sessions. Let me see, because we had a few comments about IT issues yesterday, and Dixon Mushabe is going to be here to go through what they found out and how we can actually help you to make sure that you are sorted. I figured that I can use different colors to represent different customer segments. I saw coming with 2 VPs may be quite confusing. That's another way of doing it, actually. This one must be, this Andrew Kato must be from the creative side of things. Fantastic, well done. Argent, the templates received cannot be downloaded, but rather editable online. I think we have, this is the same question, this is the same question that has been answered. Yes. Okay. I think I'm going through all the messages. Hey, Aguma, the email comes in but does not redirect to the desired, say, VPC or BMC. This has been resolved now. I think Ivy is going to send an email with one attachment so that there's no confusion. So there will be a PDF attachment and a Microsoft Word attachment so that there is no confusion on that. Mr. Dennis, about, by the way, it's not Mr. Dennis, it's Mr. Aguma or just Dennis, some English. Hello, Mr. Dennis, about the pitching. Is it going to be packaged in BMC and VPC? No plan or virtual presentation? Yes, level number 1 is going to be exactly that. It's just judges looking at your value proposition canvas and business model canvas and making a judgment call as to what your idea is going to be like. However, in the pipeline is an opportunity for the top businesses, the winners in the various categories. I think the top 100 will be invited to pitch in a TV style type of competition, potentially winning more grants. So please do give this thing your all. Don't wait for the next round. You just need to make sure that you are in the next round. So at least there will be round number one where there will be initial winners of some of these grants, including the 100 million and other grants from the different categories. But quite a number of you will be invited then into another round. And we're looking to increase that number from maybe 100 to 300 or 400, who knows? Just give everything your all. But as I mentioned yesterday, add as well onto your value proposition canvas any other bits that you think are important. So for instance, Stephen Kagame, if you think you have an audio of less than 2 minutes or video of less than 2 minutes that you can upload, let's say there's a YouTube link. If a judge is inclined, they can take a look at that. We're not suggesting that you drop everything that you have in there. We don't want to be looking at 100-page business plans. No, we're looking at canvases, value proposition canvas and business model canvas. Please alert me once Alan has joined us so that we can start. I learned that we need to spend more time understanding the problem. Yes, Abdul Jamil. Hello, Ness, I need help. I can't send messages to panelists and attendees. I think someone mentioned this. Quite a number of messages to go through. Everyone is talking about the chat is off. The chat is on, actually. I can see everybody. I think that has been activated. Hello, I learned about being a customer, centeredness, blah, 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 blah. Okay, too many chat messages. Let me forget the chats right
Alan
now.
is with us.
Sorry?
Alan is with us.
Oh, fantastic. Alan, good morning. Good to see you. It's better to be late than never. So you came in when I was going through the chats. Maybe to bring you up to speed is that yesterday's session, which was delivered by Laura, went down really well. Laura delivered aspects of the value proposition canvas. Let me just rewind. Delivered aspects of the value proposition canvas using quite a number of examples. There was a lot of interaction in the chat room, lots of questions in the Q&A. And today, obviously, you're focusing on the business model canvas. And tomorrow, I will essentially wrap up both the value proposition canvas, the business model canvas, and explain to participants how this all comes together to create one massive pitch. So without wasting further ado, I will hand over to you, Alan. Collins, my colleague, Collins Mwesigwa, will be helping with the moderation after your presentation. So Alan, over to you. Have a very good session. Alan, I think you're still muted. Your video and audio are both still off. If you could please activate.
Start your video.
Brilliant. We can see you now, Alan. What we can't see is your screen, unless you're going to deliver it without a screen. But good luck. Over.
Yeah.
Alan, we can't hear you. We can't see you either, or we can't see your screen as well. Albert, can you help? Or Alan, are you having any technical issues? If you can let us know so that Albert or Peter can look into this, please.
I just prompted him to unmute. Yes, maybe you carry on with Q&A as you're doing earlier. Let me get his contact and see if I can help.
I can't hear anyone.
Alan, can you hear us? Alan? Alan, please mention if you can hear us, because we see you are not muted, but we can't hear you. I think Alan is saying that he can't hear anyone and he's going to restart his Zoom. Alan,
Yes,
please go ahead.
Dennis, I seem not to hear anyone yet. I think there's an issue with my speak on my side.
We can hear you though.
Don't mind, can briefly refresh.
Alan, we can hear you.
At all. I hope that's fine.
Okay. Participants, apologies for that. I think Alan has to restart his machine. He's clearly having some technical issues. I hope he does it sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, let's not waste this opportunity. I'm going to go through some questions, Q&A. I noticed that some of you have your hands raised. Actually, let's take this opportunity and hear from you guys. One of the things about entrepreneurship, by the way, is you must be able to be flexible in a situation like this, crack on regardless. So I'm going to allow Kana Caesar to talk. Caesar, if you could unmute yourself and ask your question. Kana Caesar.
Yes, I can get you.
Yes, your quick comment, please.
Okay, what I was trying to say is I can't see my idea on my account when I'm trying to, as in when I log into my account, when I want to check on my idea, I can't see it. And secondly, I can't also be able to edit my BMC and the VPC as well. So I was trying to inquire.
Okay, both questions have been responded to. The first one is the business model canvas is available in both Microsoft and PDF, whichever one you prefer. You download, complete that, and send it back by email. Someone is saying that network problems are everywhere today. I don't know what's going on with network issues, but Ivy is going to send these documents again as attachments straight into everyone's email for those that have not received them. If you have not received the VPC, or if it has come in a format that you do not like, get back to us by email and they will send it to you directly by email instead of downloading it from wherever it is. Nabude Harriet, I'm doing this, by the way, because we're waiting for Alan to sort out the IT issues. So Alan, please, if you come back, please get straight in. I'm just, in the meantime, listening to the participants with their questions. Nabude, you're allowed to speak, please. Nabude Harriet. Okay, we go to Ashawahewa Juliet. Ashawahewa, you're allowed to talk. Shall I hear what Juliet? Talking permitted? Okay, we'll go to the next one. Muhammad Kafuma. Muhammad Kafuma. Unmute yourself and ask your question.
Sorry. Good morning. Yes,
Morning.
I wanted to confirm what if the network, because we wanted to submit to do some edit, and to talk to our mentors, but still we can't access. But if up to Friday, the problem still exists, how are we to submit our submissions?
You can submit, you're allowed to submit, to attach your, you're allowed to attach, at the moment, you're allowed to attach your documents, your canvases. You're not able to talk to mentors yet because the mentorship section, or that will happen in the business incubation phase. So after Friday, once we know who the finalists are, those are the ones that will be receiving mentorship. So at the moment, we have not assigned mentors because there's over 4,800 different ideas, and we have only over 100 judges and mentors. So that will be available for those that make it into the next round. But we're talking to our development partners to make sure that as many of you as possible are brought into the incubation and mentorship phase, so that even though you don't win the grants, at least you get some structured support going forward. Eric Bonfans, you're allowed to talk. Eric. Eric Bonfas. Okay, next to, let me look for female. Shadia Nasanga, you're allowed to talk. Shadia.
I'm kind of asking for some clarification. So yesterday we were told to be a bit more specific. So what if I do a little bit of much changes in my idea, do I still qualify for the competitions? Because now I'm narrowing down to a smaller group of people.
Yes, you still qualify, and that's what we want to see. We want to see your idea change, evolve, and become better. So if originally you were thinking that your product or service is going to reach out to the entire Uganda, now you know you're better. You know that you have to target a particular client or a particular segment. That's what we want to see. These sessions are deliberately designed to make you wiser, to give you more insights. So that will not be used against you. Far from it. We want to see that. We want to see people's ideas progressing and emerging from what they were before. Peter, please let me know once Alan has come back. Please check in the attendees section so that you can upgrade him, assuming that he's there, because we're losing a lot of time here. Let me see who else to bring on board. Lydia Nsimile. Lydia Nsimile, you're allowed to talk. Oh, no. This is different. That's on the panelist side. I beg your pardon. Let me see. Bridget Tusinza. Bridget Tusinza, you're allowed to talk.
Good morning to all panelists and participants. My question to you, Mr. Aguma, is if my idea is a platform that is for both a service and a product. So it's for services and products. For example, it's connecting farmers. It's for farmers to sell their products to customers, but also there is a section where farmers can access services from freelance workers that can go and help out on their farms. So the platform has two sections, two ends. I was wondering how I approach the business plan canvas and the value proposition canvas. Do I do one business canvas for the services part of hiring freelance workers and do another for the services where they just sell their products, or do I combine each? Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I think you can combine both. It depends on how clear you are on the canvases. Someone has just mentioned before in the chat room that they were able to color code the different aspects. So you could actually have two canvases in one, where you use, let's say, color blue or color orange, so that the judge can track which side is where. You have to be very creative about this, but it's one platform, so you don't want to be mixing things around, but you can do both. Using color coding might be actually a way around it. Let me see who else to bring on board. I think ladies are asking better questions. I'm afraid, boys. Let me stick with the gender issue. Nasozi Mariam, you're allowed to speak. Nasozi Mariam.
Thank you for this opportunity. My question goes to Mr. Aguma. So as I'm a student at Uganda Martyrs University in Kozi, so I was asking, there is that program that usually take to Makerere University that us people from Uganda Martyrs University are not able to participate in it. So I was asking, is there a time that we shall be able to access that program at Uganda Martyrs University? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nasozi Mariam. That's a very good question, actually. Luckily, on the call, colleagues from the UNDP, Bana Mugema, and others, I think you are talking about the LEAP conference that happens in different universities. It's been to, what tends to happen is that these universities actually only host. So while it might happen at Makerere University Business School, Chambogo or UMI or Kabale for that matter, all students are welcome. But one of the things we've been planning to do is to have regional conferences that lead up to the national conference. So we are hoping, for instance, to have, let's say, the Western, the Eastern, Northeastern, and things like that, and the central one, so that all students, all entrepreneurship students in the various entrepreneurship clubs in the different universities can actually come together every year and showcase some of the best products and services. So what we're seeing is that a university like Makerere University, through the Expo, can have some of the winners in the Expo. Makerere University Business School does something similar. UMI does something similar. Your university does something similar. And then the winners from each of those, bring them together for what would be a fantastic national ideas competition that will culminate into some TV show where some of you guys are going to be recognized for your ingenuity, for your creativity, and things like that. So there's quite a number of things in the pipeline that we're working on, and I'm delighted to hear the hunger that you guys have for things like the LEAP conference. Can I just confirm, please, that Alan has been able to join us, or that he's not in the attendees list? We're really running out of time. Otherwise, I'll have to deliver this session myself.
Just him is joining us shortly. He has managed to restart.
Okay. Let me take one other question. I think they're very interesting questions, actually. Let me see who else to bring on board. Jovia Mohindo. Jovia, your question, please. You're allowed to speak. Jovia, unmute yourself and speak.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
For me, I'm from Kasese. I deal in rice processing, and my concern is about the value proposition covers, because for me, I deal with the farmers, the rice farmers, and I take them to be my customers. Then I also deal with the business community which buys the rice from me after buying it from the farmers. So I was asking myself whether I should develop two value proposition canvases for the farmers and for the business community.
This is becoming a very poignant point, and maybe I'll let Alan allude to it once he's been on board. But also my colleague, actually, Collins Mwesiwa, should be able to respond to some of these. Collins is going to moderate the session after Alan has delivered the session on the business model canvas. It's not unusual that sometimes a product or service, especially if you're talking about digital platforms and things like that, it's not unusual that you might struggle to fall in one category or the other. We've already had about 2 or 3 individuals who think that they have different products or different services. So you can use either the color coding option, or you can actually choose to stick to one and treat one as the major and the other one as just the additional bit of it, so that it's not the main, but the additional bit. But some of what's actually going to be happening in the next phase of this session is the purpose of the first round of judging is to get an idea, to get a sense of what your idea is. Some of this clarity that we're talking about will be made clearer in the business incubation, because someone will be talking to you like on one-on-one and going through quite a number of options. And at that stage, it won't just be the business model canvas. It will be slightly much more detailed. You could be looking at different prototypes and things like that. So it won't just be one size fits all. And you'll notice I'm restraining myself from giving generic answers, because we have over 500 of you guys on this call, and your products or services are going to be different. Some will have multiple services targeting the same one customer segment. Some of you might have the same service targeting maybe 2 different customer segments. So it's really a judgment call as to how you approach it. But if you think that there are 2 segments that you're focusing on, then use color coding as one of the options, or deal with them as separate ideas if that's what it takes. Alan, are you able to hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Are you now back?
Yes, live and clear. Apologies for the technical issues. I think I'm now on.
Yes, I think I'm now an expert at holding fort for over 50 minutes. I've literally been, but we've actually made the most of the opportunity, looking at answering some of the questions, and some of the key questions that are coming up. Maybe you want to touch on these ones as you go into your business model canvas. Some people are struggling with their idea dealing or targeting multiple customer segments, and they're not very sure where I don't know. So maybe that's something to look into. Maybe some kind of housekeeping. Say, John Way Joseph, you are posting things like your WhatsApp chat group and things like that. That's really not acceptable. You really need to behave and respect everyone. You respect the chat room that everyone is using. We're using the chat room purely for this particular purpose. And the reason that Albert had disabled it is for exactly things like this. So we're talking about people being entrepreneurial and things like that. Please, let's respect the platform and use it purely for the purpose for which, otherwise we'll disable it and everyone else will miss out on asking their questions. And we think one of the things we've enjoyed actually is the chat facility, where you guys are giving us feedback and we adjust as we go along. This morning I was using it to get a feel of how yesterday's session was, and I'm using that feedback to give it to Alan so that he can better his presentation. So let's all be responsible in using the chat room and the questions. So over to you, Alan. Have yourself. I have to dash off to another meeting at 10 o'clock. So have a lovely deliberation, but Collins will be available on standby to help you in the moderation. Over and out. Have a good day, everyone.
Sure. Thank you so much, Dennis, for the intro and also for the brief, at least for the sake of this call and this session. Yeah, so good to meet you all, colleagues. My name is Alan Lule, and I'm sure Dennis and Nessa really give you a really good intro towards this session, where probably I'll be reviewing the business model canvas. I know there could be a couple of questions, but maybe I'll give just a brief, first of all, at least to ensure that we all have an idea of what exactly it is. Then maybe questions could keep coming in, where we are now at least able to shoot in where possible. So maybe if I can share my screen right now, just a minute. Okay, Okay, I'm sure you can all see my screen right now. So briefly, just to jump on straight since we lost some time already. So one, what is a business model canvas? So I know for most of us, when we think of coming up with business ideas or businesses, the first thing to come to mind is maybe a business plan. But guess what? This is just a tool, at least to summarize what we'd call a big or maybe a comprehensive business plan in a way that probably people, more so your target audiences, maybe say, let's say the investors, the shareholders, or anyone who would be interested in listening to your idea, maybe they don't have time. So the biggest thing they could at least really reference is maybe a summarized business plan. And in this case, a tool like a BMC or a business model canvas, at least is able to summarize your idea or want to know exactly what your plan is in terms of your market, your key activities, your cost structure, basically summarizing what would be business plan in this case would be. Yeah, so quickly, if you can look at the screen, maybe starting from the far left, which I normally prefer to, where we have the key partners. So I'm sure right about now, all of us have come up with really brilliant ideas. And just before you really even set out stone to at least start on these ideas, the first thing is you can't do it alone on your own. So one, you need to be able to at least identify key stakeholders. So besides friends, besides families, besides maybe co-founders as well, or besides the team, for some of our ideas are in a context whereby at least we need a really established partner who not only is going to bring on investment, but maybe also bring on maybe advice, technical expertise to at least help us along the way in that regard. So for this, so for the sake of the program, I'm sure one of the things NACE and UNDP would really be interested in hearing from you is, yes, you have this idea. It could be big for you to implement as a person as of now, but then have you been able to identify any partner within the ecosystem or any sector, be it health, education, or finance, where you think you could be able to at least reach out to these, engage them, see whether they're prospective enough to take on this idea with you. The NACE and UNDP be like, okay, yes, after having maybe identified these partners, now this is how we can take them on to onboard them. So briefly, I just have a simple example here of just my normal template I normally share for at least any entrepreneur out there, to at least engage them in terms of how they can really craft a standard business model canvas. So in this example here, imagine I have a simple idea. In this case, I'm calling it Flexi Day. So if you can see on the top left corner, where I have Flexi Day. So Flexi Day is just my sample business. Maybe to me in this case, my idea is I'm offering collaboration workspaces whereby I'm enabling people who have no place to work from just to either reach out to restaurants, hotels, anywhere, have free collaboration space where they can work from. So in other words, I'm just trying to connect you to any place out there with a reliable internet, a conducive environment, probably also maybe a spacious space where you can just move in ad hocly and get working from there. So that's my business idea. So in this case, my key partners, in this case, maybe to me would be, I now need to maybe partner with restaurants around maybe Kampala or any region out there, maybe cafes as well. And maybe in that case, one, I need to get a business license to help me at least operate legally. So one, you need to be in the legal setting as well. So here your key partner either will be KCCA, so minus giving you a trading license, maybe they'll also help you at least legalize your partnership with any restaurant out there, because if you go with that trade license, at least any restaurant out there would be able or willing to listen to you regarding your idea. So in other words, you have to try to at least map out all your key stakeholders and partners, whether it is legal or statutory. So whether it is in terms of capacity of resources, in this case, please just to share them out there. So maybe one other key thing to note here is that when you're identifying key partners, at least start from what is your value proposition in terms of the product itself. So let's say you have a product whereby it is maybe an e-commerce platform or an online platform, maybe it is even a consumer good or service of sorts. So the first thing is try to know how it relates with any partner that you're trying to realize out there. So whether they are bringing on board technical expertise in terms of production or in terms of just advice, at least make it clear out there. So try to bring them out there. So whether it is government, private sector, but normally here we are looking at legal partners, not just friends, not just family, those ones who you think at least they can really give you a hand or two in terms of really formalizing your idea. So there's a brief in there. So one thing, focus on the key partners, key suppliers, and also which resources you need in terms of acquiring these key partners. But also in general, like I said, try to make sure somehow you align with them. So it will be not ideal for me, who is doing a flexi day, which is going to offer workspaces. Then maybe now I reach out to maybe say Ministry of Agriculture. There's no way in that regard that I may be aligned with them, all sorts. So maybe in this case, reaching out to guys like Serena Hotel, restaurants in Kampala, KCCA, maybe even investors who are investing in collaboration workspaces will be a key alignment. So in that regard, as we look out for key partners, try to find common areas of alignment whereby, you know, much as you're asking for something, in return, you also be able to at least give something in that regard as well. Okay, so that's about key partners. Then coming out to key activities. So I don't know whether it's okay if you maybe could keep compiling the questions for any of these, then we shall answer along the way after I have reviewed this, since we've lost some time. Okay, so coming to now key activities. So here is now mainly what are those key operations that you are going to be engaged on in terms of pushing out that service. So whether it is farming, so whether it is technology, so whether it is construction, at least try to show us those key operations that are redeemed or maybe regarding you executing that service at the end of the day. In this case, for mine, one, I'll be engaged in an activity of looking out for key suppliers, probably, or maybe space providers in that case. So that's activity one. So in there, I may have something like benchmarking across restaurants, hotels in any region, or even guest houses where I know, probably I know these guys maybe have spaces, at least to be able to engage them. Then two, as a key activity, I'll maybe be engaged in developing a platform through which my clients, that is the people who need collaboration workspaces, will be able to reach out to check out these spaces in terms of working from there. So that's also maybe another key activity, developing a platform in that case. So maybe yours is farming. So things like probably acquiring tools will maybe be able to come in, getting land maybe for farming, or maybe looking out for suppliers of maybe be it animals. In that case, in case maybe you are doing animal rearing. So a couple of those, but mainly, yeah, you are looking out for those key direct activities that you're going to be engaged in to produce a service or good at the end of the day. And then coming now straight to the value proposition. Now, this is my favorite one. So value, like I keep saying, this is that there's no way you expect business at the end of the day unless you're offering someone something which is solving their problem or which is helping them at least access a given opportunity in that regard. So to me, I would say the brief of what I would call value proposition is what is that thing that you're giving to a customer or to an end consumer that is going to be of value to them, for them to as well be able to do what? Pay money for that as well. So in brief, quick questions here come to mind. What are the customer needs? Or what are the consumer needs? 2, what are their problems? 3, how are you able to solve them in a way that they will appreciate this and then be able to use your product or service? And in essence, also pay for it at the end of the day. So depending on what you're offering, maybe just give us like a really quick wide range. In case I'm a farmer, my quick value would be, yes, obviously supplying quality, maybe produce, maybe to my customers at the end of the day. In case maybe I'm an IT service of sorts, maybe mean that I have to probably put out a good quality e-commerce platform, mobile platform, which at least enables my intended audiences to at least accomplish their needs. So which brings me to the question of segments at the end of the day. So one quick way to approach your customer segment, or market segments would be, try to first of all know, are you serving consumers, or you are serving the needs of also other businesses. Because I know for most of our ideas, much as we may want to target everyone out there in the market or serve everyone out there in the market, it will not be ideal for you to maybe anticipate that you just maybe be able to just go out there and maybe serve each and every person. So starting small, I would say, first of all, no, are you serving a business need or you are serving a consumer need? So in this case, you now have the idea of, yes, I'm either serving a business or I'm either serving a consumer. So a consumer in this case would be any open member of public, maybe Alan somewhere, maybe Dennis somewhere, or maybe Albert somewhere out there, who you think directly you're going to be able to sell to or offer your solution to for them to be able to pay back. But then in case of serving a need of a business, probably let's say you're offering a solution to solve this business's problem. Maybe say, just to give you an example, you could be maybe saying, in terms of farming, you're supplying meat or produce to only and only restaurants, not to households. So in this case, the customer segment is clearly business. So you're serving the needs of other business. So I don't know if some of you have heard of models called B2C and B2B. That's now where the SS comes in. So clearly know who your customer is and then categorize them for you to be able to meet at least their needs at the end of the day. So in terms of value, after having known exactly now what we're offering, quick things come in here. What bundles of products or services are you offering? That's one. And also, which channels are you going to probably use to deliver these goods or items to them? Because part of value is not only the product that you're giving, but also the entire chain, right from how you supply them, right from how you give them the goods, until the point of engagement. So whether it is a platform itself, whether it is a consumer good itself, all that is value that you're giving to them, which may at the end of the day, either transform their mindsets to want to get more from you, as opposed to you just making a sale, then you're like, it's gone. So as you map out your value, don't only look at the good, but look at the entire process of how you're going to engage your customers along the way. So even if it's right from marketing, part of your value is, I should be able to communicate the best information regarding my product or service at the end of the day. So in that, much as the end goal is the product that you're offering, your customers will be delighted in information you're giving them and how you're engaging them at the end of the day. So that should also maybe be a bit clear. And somehow now that translates to the next phase, which is customer relationships, where now you're going to be able to make it clear in terms of how are you going to really be able to attract these guys to buy from you, or to use your solution, or to keep buying from you, or to keep using it at the end of the day, even besides just one sale or two in that regard. The way this is critical is that, one, it helps you determine now what exactly conformity, or maybe I would call it, okay, I'll call it reality. Because, you know, at times, the normal scale of business we see here in Uganda is more like brick and mortar. When I buy something from you, chances of me coming back to you are very little, unless you have really built that rapport or that relationship between me and you for me to keep wanting to stay or to come back tomorrow. So as a business, you guys need to develop that mindset. How can we be able to at least retain these guys at the end of the day? But how? One, establish a channel for communication, directly stay in touch with your customers or your would-be customers, because at times there's some people who normally come to you just to try to get information from you. But then the goal is for you, whether someone is just coming to know from you or to buy from you, at least you should be able to record all of their details, in that you try to pursue them even along the way, to see if maybe if they can buy from you. So in this case, you're going to think of things like, one, I may give my guys maybe discounts as a means of helping them to stay or to keep buying from me. Two, I'm going to establish a very simple channel of communication whereby maybe I can maybe keep updating them monthly or weekly on any new supplies coming in, any new products coming in, or as well trying to ask, maybe inquire from them what they bought from me is still really viable to them at the end of the day. So things like discounts apply, rewards apply, but that's all as a means of trying to build a relationship to make these guys just a part of your business at the end of the day. So that's also has to also come out clearly. So when I talk of customer relationships, let's try to see how you're going to be able to retain these people, but also attract them in case they're just first-time customers or first-time users for solutions of your businesses in that regard. Okay, and then following in next is the customer segments. It's now the interesting one. So like I said to you early on, when it came to value, so much as we're focusing on the general public, the quickest idea is, first of all, segment your market. Know whether you're serving a business or whether you're serving customers or general public like me, individually or households in that regard. And now, once that is established well enough, start small. Most of those of us who are at just ideation phase. I'm sure some of us, of course, could be way ahead in terms of progress of our businesses. But then, like I normally say, the quickest way you can know who your customer segment is by at least doing a sample random survey. Because in most cases, I know since we're still at planning phase, we're just having assumptions right now. But even within the assumptions, just first of all, try to sample out maybe a couple of your would-be potential closest customers. And the best way now you can experiment this is just do a quick survey amongst 10 of your friends about your idea. Only 10 of them, only 10. So, and how quick this can be, just get a list of contacts of 10 of your friends, just give them a phone call. Now, just ask them, would this idea or would this product that maybe I'm trying to propose to you be appealing to you? Just a phone call. But the answer seen there now would be, you're trying to identify, much as these friends of yours could be different. Maybe one could be a student, one working class, one maybe an old person. At the end of the day, you'll be able to at least establish that, okay, amongst all these guys who I interviewed or maybe I engaged, 5 of these or half of these were middle class, or maybe half of these were youths, or maybe half of these were high-end class. So the point is, you're trying to know how many people among those who probably you just had maybe that conversation with really are interested in your product or service. So in that case, now you find out that maybe it is the middle class who actually may be more interested in your item or buying your product or service or good in terms of them being able to at least appeal to that market. That way now you'll be able to know my market or my customer segment is maybe guys who are maybe students, maybe guys who are middle income earners, but also aligning it now with your product or service or good, which now in my case would be, I'm targeting tourists, I'm targeting maybe real estate brokers who are going to help me at least market my platform, their target also customers at the end of the day. But not to forget, a customer is someone who is going to pay the actual money itself at the end of the day. I don't know if that's clear enough, because at times we normally confuse the customer segments in that regard, because at times you find that the end consumer is not the customer. I'll give us a quick example here. We've seen some businesses trying to sell maybe, say, education material to students maybe. Let me give you an example of MK, because I'm sure maybe many of us are part of MK. MK publishes textbooks, both high school, primary, and more of the likes. But then, surprisingly, the customer is not the student. Much as the student is the end consumer, but in this case, the customer is the parent that is going to buy that textbook for his kid or for his child, or it is that school which is going to procure a couple of textbooks for its libraries, for its students to do what? To be able to read them. So as you identify your customer segments, look out for those guys who are going to get money from their pockets and pay for your service or good, even though they are paying it on behalf of someone else who could be the end consumer in that regard. So as you think of that, you might just focus straight on who is going to pay you money at the end of the day. But then in this case, in terms of specifying who that it is, at least you'd rather keep it a bit general, In case maybe you're targeting restaurants, yes, that's a bit more clear. But then in case maybe say you are an IT firm, which is maybe doing an e-commerce website to sell maybe items online. Yes, you could specify things like households, maybe things like other companies out there who maybe make procurements online for stuff on there, but try to be clear as possible in terms of showing us who exactly is going to pay for your good or service at the end of the day. Okay, I think that's sufficient as well. So now moving forward, below right now, at least you can see where now we have the channels. Interesting one. So I know most of us right now have really good ideas, but then from my observation and experience, from what I've seen, is that normally not many of us are able to really explain our ideas to maybe the others, much as the ideas will actually really be good. So even as a business, the same thing applies. You could be having a good product or service, but maybe at times you're using a wrong channel to sell these products or services. So channels basically is what means are you looking for through which you're going to be able to pass your services to your customers, same to your products, and also marketing your products to your customers as well. So like I said, try to map out the entire value chain for your company or for your business. In this case, in that for the channel, you're going to focus first on how do I make my product aware, or how do you create awareness of my product or service to my customers in that regard. So things like social media, a website, an online store, direct sales, of course, do really apply in terms of channels. But then you need to first of all establish, is this channel the right channel for your product or service? I'll give you an example. I know right about now, rarely have many of us bought maybe say farm produce from markets using social media or Facebook. Rarely. So to me, it won't be ideal when maybe someone's idea is of farming, maybe to supply stuff to restaurants, and then I'm seeing you using social media as a supply channel. It will be a very wrong one for you in that case, just to say. So in other words, try to look out for the channel which your customers are well versed with, first of all. So in case your customers are online people, maybe then now you're going to think of social media, putting a website in place, maybe also doing some mobile applications where possible. But the essence is try to know where your customers are so that you now use an appropriate channel in terms of reaching out to them. So for the case of my idea here, like I said, Flexi Day, which is of course offering office space. One, I'm going to reach out directly to restaurants as a means of engaging them. So that's direct outreach. Then two, maybe I'll have a mobile application whereby people can really go to, after downloading it, check out these places, because in terms of spaces, people may want to know how do they look like. So things like pictures, of course, either will appear on my mobile application or on my website, even on social media, because mine is kind of like visual. People need to see what exactly they are going to book or to buy at the end of the day. So that one normally applies. So the other channel, of course, will be calls. So in this case, I know you've heard of people looking through, I would say, directories. So when you're a business, it is so absurd for you to just wait for people to reach out to you, but rather it is your call to get that phone and make it to anyone possible out there to engage them to see whether they would be able to appeal to your products or services in that regard. So which brings me to the point that when you see what we call sales nowadays will mean physical outreach to a potential customer, engage them to see whether they can buy in or not, then move on to the next one. So in that regard, you could do this physically, or you could do this virtually through a call, whereby you at least have a list this long of potential customers. Maybe say you're now, in this case, maybe having other businesses as your target customers. Your call will be, I'm going to create a list this long where I can have many businesses. Then now I plan on how to reach out to them physically to engage them to see whether they could consume my product or service at the end of the day. which is now where you see things like word of mouth applying and many others in there. So basically channels is how are you going to market, and maybe also how are you going to get the products or services to your customers at the end of the day. It also comes in there. Okay, and now coming lastly to the last ones, right below is where you can see the cost structure and maybe the revenue streams. But before I go to that, if you can just look at the key resources here, key resources, which of course partly is derived from the key activities. The key resources is basically what are those key inputs that you need to at least engage in your key activities to at least ensure that you are able to put up your key operations out there. So here you're going to focus on mainly the key inputs, which of course could be the tools themselves which you're going to use. Maybe if, it's power, if it's internet, maybe if it's packaging material, more of the likes, but basically those things that go hand in hand with your key activities for you to be able to produce a good or service at the end of the day. So that's why I think quite more clear. But then coming straight to the revenue streams and the cost structures. Now, this is the most interesting one. So before you think of before you think of revenue streams in this case, I'd like us to first of all focus on the key structures here, because partly they inform what you may call the key activities that we did look at early on. So here, if you can see it briefly, I have something to do with the legal, customer support, business license, insurance, accounting, and many others. So cost structure, basically, you're looking at what are the basic requirements you need for you to set up basic operations. I don't know if that's clear. Basic operations. So basic operations, in this case, I would mean things like making sure, first of all, you're a legal entity. Then two, making sure that you have the clear structures in place for you to formalize your business engagements in that regard. So where you see things like legal, probably maybe you may need to register legally as a business. Maybe you need a legal advisor to maybe advise you in a way or two on how now you can go about any decisions, whether getting on shareholders, whether you're getting on maybe partners, someone basically to ensure that at least you're dealing in a legal framework. And I'm very sure part of what NICE will offer to you is anything to do with copyright, legal, protection of your idea, and many others. But even you as a business need to be able to at least seek any legal advice from anyone who is more experienced or an expert, to at least offer you some bit of structured support in that regard. So licensing as well would come in as part of your cost structure, because obviously a business license is not for free. You may need to pay for that at some point in time. So as part of your work plan, in terms of the cost structures, at least look out for those key operational aspects which make you stand out as a business, which is a legal entity, known just as a what? An informal business. Because right now, I'm sure there are many informal businesses right now in Uganda, but then at the end of this entire call, UNDP and NICE would be very interested to know whether at least you have really plans of formalizing a formal business, which is one going to pay taxes to government at the end of the day, later on, but with the essence of how can you now be able to stand out as a business, which is also contributing to the economy informality in that regard. So things like accounting, of course, may apply for you to exactly know how now you're going to maybe monitor your finances, probably track your performance at the end of the day in terms of remitting returns to any authorities or bodies out there. But in essence, just try to know how you can at least set in place basic operations starting on. Now, for our cases, since we of course are still at ideation, I'll still urge most of us to focus more on at least setting up cost structures to do with legal, accounting, how you're going to manage finances. Because if UNDP and NICE are giving you money, you should be able to have at least clear structures on how you're going to do what, manage all these finances. So in part of your cost structure, maybe there would be at least hiring someone on your team who is a little more expertise to track finances or advise on financial aspects and more of the likes. Advertising maybe also may come in. So depending on what your needs are for your business, at least try to focus on the basic operations in that regard. But then last but not least is coming in with the revenue streams. Like I said earlier on that we're all here for business. Even if it's not for business, at least it's for impact. Because I know for most of us, our ideas could be so much of NGOs, which are maybe non for profit, but then either way, nowadays, if you are having an NGO-like idea, the value you are selling there is impact. People want you to be able to quantify that impact in terms of how it translates to what your business does, in case maybe it's not making money. But I'm sure for most of us who could be here for business, the question here would be now, how are we going to be able to make money, or how are we making money? So here things like, of course, making a direct sale for your product or service could apply, where now you know, I'm offering a good and maybe I'm expecting money in return, whereby now people are paying directly for your product or service. Then two, for those of us who are mainly dealing with online businesses, things like subscriptions could apply, whereby maybe someone's only remitting, maybe say some money is for a given month or a given quarter, or maybe like an annual year, whereby you know continuously they are subscribing to keep consuming this service, as opposed to paying every time they do what? They consume your product or service. So then three, some of us may be engaged in terms of getting money through commissions. Maybe your solution somehow is powering the needs of another business. So much as the other business is making money, they'll be able to pay you commissions for you offering your solution to them at the end of the day. Four, maybe you could be selling ads. Maybe your idea is about promoting other businesses. So the case is maybe in that case, people are paying for the ads that you're casting out on their behalf in that regard. So then the others, of course, could be now things like research, somehow, because right now, some of us may be offering businesses which are not offering goods or services per se, but maybe you are selling data. So in terms of research, maybe you are collecting so much data and then being able to offer it to organizations or businesses which want to draw more insights into whatever they're offering. In that now for you, in that case, people are paying for your research as a good at the end of the day. But maybe let's say you are more like a consultant who's giving them data that they're paying for, then in return, they get maybe paid for doing that. So in other words, try to at least identify how exactly or what exactly people are going to be able to pay for, or how you're going to be able to make money at the end of the day. So I think that should also maybe be a bit quite clear in that regard. But like I said, in essence, this is just a brief of a business plan, because ideally, if you look into what they call a standard business plan, this is something which can go even beyond 50 pages of sorts. But then as you can see, this is just only one page, but quickly hinting on now how you can structure your business idea into a feasible or viable business at the end of the day. So with that brief, colleagues, I think I can leave it to that as of now. Then now maybe now make it more engaging in case of any more questions regarding any of these segments of the business model canvas in that regard. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alan, for the beautiful presentation. And thank you, audience, for being quite engaging and also being able to ask as many questions as possible. So, Alan, I've picked a few, and I think we will start with one about the detail. I see most of the participants seem to want to understand to what extent can they be detailed as they try to feed in these the BMC and also the business model canvas. How much detail can they be able to put in this template? Then number two, if you could also add on and talk about if the participants can be able to customize their own templates and not to have to use this particular one. Can somebody have a narrative that is able to, as long as the detail is there? I think you can be chewing on those as I try to bring on more questions. Over to you, Alan.
All right. Thank you so much, Collins, for the guidance in there. Yeah, so one, starting from the detail, to what extent should you put detail in here? So try to be extremely precise, And what I mean is, it's as simple as basically listing key activities, because in here, you can't explain so much of like what exactly is involved at each and every segment. I'll give us an example. The way we have key partners like here, in the first segment, just list them out. Don't tell us what each one of them is going to do. Just list them out. And maybe just to briefly make it clear, is if possible, try to put the exact name of the would-be key partner, where in this case, maybe we have a partner like KCCA, make it clear it's KCCA, where maybe we have a partner like maybe a restaurant or a hotel, tell us which hotel exactly it is. But the point there is, at least it gives us a key idea that you know at least who exactly you're going to be able to reach out to at least engage them as being a key partner. So key activities in here now, be as well so precise. Tell us what exactly you are going to do. It's maybe either acquiring or maybe sensitizing or developing something. So don't put so much detail, but rather make it so much precise, but let's be able to communicate what exactly you're trying to like put forward in that regard. So just, I'll say the quick idea is just list all these key components in here, as long as they do communicate what exactly you're trying to put forward in that regard. So then two, customizing the template here. So I think this is a much more easy template to put up, but I think it will also be okay if any one of you can just set up your own table format of sorts, as long as you can clearly help us know which key activities are in there, what your value is in there. As much as it is able to communicate any of these key segments of the BMC, it's okay. It's okay in that regard. But feel free to use any formats you want of either a table or just listing or just paragraphs, but as long as it speaks to all key segments in here. But the point is, don't make it so wordy. So at most, it should be just 2 pages, at most 2 pages, at most. But make sure that at least you're just only listing points in here with their clear and precise explanations in there.
Okay, thank you, Alan. That question was asked by many people, so I hope they've been able to be satisfied. If you're satisfied with an answer, please drop us a chat. Then, Alan, there's this one from Mustafa. He's developing a dreadlock making machine. He's a hairstylist and is asking, should my BMC and VPC be on my potential buyers of the machine or my salon clients? Alan?
Okay. Yeah, so to me, straightforward, I think it should be known to your salon clients, because since you're making this machine, so it should directly at least maybe target other salon businesses who may want to use the same. Because why? That is a scalable model. And why am I saying it's scalable? It's because if you look at your own clients or maybe customers of the salon, maybe you only have one branch. So what will happen if you're able to at least offer this product to all of them? It will mean probably it brings it to like an end. But then if you say you are focusing on maybe other salons out there, there are so many out there, maybe in Kampala or in Masaka, Mbarara, anywhere, there's so many out there. So the thing is, in this case, you are using a scalable model whereby you know you are producing this item, but then your target customers are going to be other salons just like you, who are going to be able to buy it from you, probably, which means their business at the end of the day to you. So to me, I think otherwise in that case, in case you're doing at least a dreadlock machine for other salons in that case. I don't know whether that's clear.
Thank you, Alan. They will share with us on chat if they need more clarification, but I think you did a good job there. So as I continue to compile, there are two, at least the ones I saw, there are two participants who have ideas around the health sector. And they seem to indicate that not very many examples around health have been provided. And I thought maybe you could give it a go and see if you can share with them an example around health that probably could open up their minds to how to develop a business model canvas around health. Alan?
Okay. Okay, I'll try to be so brief on that. Since I see more questions coming in, mostly around the VPC, which I didn't so much go on through today. I don't know if maybe I can have some time, Collins, to go through the VPC.
Yeah, hit on that and then we can go on the VPC.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so for health, maybe just to use a simple case study. Let me give us an example of Rocket Health. I don't know if people know about Rocket Health.
Yeah, I think we've been introduced to it even during these sessions.
Sure, the better, yeah. Okay, so a key example of Rocket Health, whereby we know, at least Rocket Health is a health platform which is able to offer us last mile distribution health services. So in that case, meaning that Rocket Health is able to offer us services for health at our doorsteps. So if maybe I can take an example of that, in this case where I have key partners, where I know Rocket Health, one, reaches out to us to either take samples for our maybe say blood samples to take tests or maybe deliver drugs and more of the likes. Here I would say Rocket Health as partners, they could be able to maybe partner with the likes of maybe Safe Border in terms of reaching out to maybe regions they haven't reached out to. So somebody in there could be a key partner. And two, they could partner with actually other clinics, health centers around regions in the country. Then four, maybe they also need to legalize their presence with local authorities in any of the regions where they will be. So things like local councils, more so to do with KCA, would also be ideal as a key partner. It also maybe applying there. So key activities in this case maybe would be supply of medical equipment or drugs, or maybe samples in there as a key activity. So that's one. And two, imagine Rocket Health was just still an idea just like yours. The other key activity here would be they now may be able to develop a platform, be it a mobile application platform or a website where clients like me and you would be able to reach out to them online to either make a booking or maybe to maybe request their service in there at the end of the day. So about value. So I think value in this case is here. One, Rocket Health would be at least offering you last mile distribution services of supply for medical goods in this case. So then two, they'll be able to at least maybe offer you customer engagement follow-up in this case, because as you may know, for things like health, people need to call to maybe make follow-ups in that regard of whether the drug was able to work out for you and ABCD in there. But the essence here is that at least you're trying to map out which are those key things that they're offering to you. So one, they're supplying with you with drugs. Two, they are offering customer engagement as a service in there. And then maybe three as well, maybe they're giving you after sale services, which is basically maybe information about forthcoming, I would say health services in regard to what actually you had really offered or maybe asked for in that regard. So then customer relationships, of course, things like discounts would apply. Customer engagement, of course, as well does apply, whereby you're still in touch towards finding out what more offers do they have to offer with other health packages. Insurance in there maybe has to apply, maybe demos in terms of you using their service for free for quite some time will also maybe be able to apply in that case. So, but in other words, how are you able to build that rapport with your customers, at least moving forward? So then customer segments, in case of health, one, clinics also could be your customers, because ideally, for an example like Rocket Health, they are also helping clinics and other health centers access high-level health equipment or services, which they would not otherwise have afforded to be able to at least afford those. So yes, clinics could be your customers. Then two, households. That is people like me and Collins out there who maybe need to take a test, like maybe a health test, maybe a blood sample, at least to know what my results are at the end of the day, in that case. So then others also actually could be schools in there, just that right now we are in lockdown, maybe, or maybe an example of Rocket Health, since we know they serve maybe dispensaries in maybe schools as well. So schools also maybe could be clients in this case. So I think it's so wide in there, but try to focus on who exactly you think your potential customer in there would be. So then moving straight on to revenue streams. The revenue streams here, of course, could be things like, of course, getting commissions on supplies. Because once I order for a test on blood, maybe as a part of delivery, for that would be the transport charges in there. So on that, maybe you're getting a commission to at least cover up your costs of service delivery. You could be able to come in there. Then two, you could be able to now also deliver goods on behalf of maybe other stores or maybe other hospitals in that regard, or maybe offering as well sales services or customer engagement services on behalf of what? Other health centers in there. So commissions could apply, customer engagement could apply as a service, and maybe also advertisements. Because you see, when Rocket Health reaches out to me, and then they're like, this sample has been maybe carried out by IHK, they're promoting IHK in that regard. So in your plan, as you work out a business model, first of all, is that when you're trying to collect all these partners, first of all, know what value are you offering to them and what are they offering to you as well, in that in your contract, there should be at least something clearly stating, for this given service which I offer for you on behalf of maybe someone else, there is a commission cut for me to earn to keep doing what? Operating in that regard. So I don't know if that will make sense, Collins, in regards to the health sector. Otherwise, I think there are so many avenues on how you can really model a couple of things in here.
Yeah, I think you've really given it a good introduction. And our participants who wanted examples around health sector, please go on, give us a comment on chat. And if you need more clarification, Alan is happy to give us more clarification. So before Alan talks about the VPC a little bit, I would like to let you know that those who have IT issues, the team at NES as we speak is trying to make sure that all these issues are resolved, because we see your comments on chat. So in the interest of maximizing the presence of our resource, Alan, we will particularly want to tackle questions around the business model campus and VPC. And then the team at NES will really tackle those issues dealing with the IT systems, login and submission. They are hearing you, they are listening to you, and they are reading your chat. So keep them coming as we continue this. Also, if you do have challenges downloading the templates, please write an email to us at info@nes.co.ug, info@nes.co.ug, and you will be responded to with downloadable templates for the BMC and VPC. For those of you who can also be able to log into the platform, please go ahead and submit your BMC and VPC. Otherwise, the deadline is on Friday at midnight, so you could as well take your time and be able to build good submissions. So having said that, Alan, please give us something on the VPC, and also if you could highlight the difference between BMC and VPC, because I see also a couple of comments and questions around differentiating the two. In fact, some asking if they could actually combine the two and submit one document that has both. Over to you, Alan.
Okay, thank you so much, Collins. Maybe before actually really moving into that, I see some interesting questions here. Just to quickly answer. So one of the formats at least, which I think you should be able to submit the BMC, like I said, you can come up with a soft copy Word document or be it a PowerPoint, where at least you're able to explain what is entailed under the different segments of your BMC. But then, as far as I heard, I think from NES some time back, is that as long as you can write on a neat piece of paper regarding all those segments, and then take a clear picture or shot, which at least you can be able to upload at the end of the day, I think it should also maybe be fine as well. I don't know if I'm right, Collins.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So the point is, whichever format, but as long as you're able to communicate all segments clearly. So whether you're going to take a screenshot or maybe a snapshot of a clear piece of paper, explain your key segments, your key partners, and more the likes, I think it's okay. So whether it's a Word document or a hard copy one, but of course, screenshot, I think it should be okay for you to at least take that on in that regard.
Yeah.
Then quickly, Jerry was asking how he can go about yam production in terms of value addition. So Jerry, just to be honest, is that at times for some ideas, you cannot really do it on your own. So the biggest that NACE and UNDP can do for you is that you should be able to identify a key stakeholder or partner who is already doing value addition in terms of yams. Then now we can help you reach out to that partner to at least help you access that expertise in terms of value addition. Because all I know is that your idea may be a bit different, but as long as you're able to reach out to someone who's already in production, then unless maybe you have a good go. So to me, I would say focus so much on identifying a key partner who you think can really help you at least go on that evaluation thing of it all. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to like at least set up a whole value chain in terms of adding value to yams in that regard. Okay, so moving straight on to the VPC and BMC. If I can maybe just share my other slide here briefly. Okay, just a minute, guys. It's taking long to load on my side, but it's coming through. Okay, I think it's loading. Okay, I hope you can all see my screen.
Yeah, we can see the screen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so quick one regarding the value proposition canvas. So I don't know if you looked clearly at the BMC, there was that part where we only had the value proposition. Maybe just to maybe zoom in from my side. Just a minute. Okay. So if you can see my slide right here, it clearly shows you what exactly the BMC is all about. But like I said, just a minute, let me just go on to this one. Yeah, this is better. So if you recall well what we have reviewed, we looked at the component of the value proposition. So basically, the value proposition canvas is just an aspect of the entire business model canvas. So it's just a component. So if you can look at this exactly, it means that for the VPC, we are basically digesting what the value of your product or service is all about. Minus looking into revenue streams, minus looking into customer streams, and all the likes. So mainly, the entire focus of the VPC is to basically digest, is your value for the product really true? Is it ideal? Is it feasible? Is it fair? Because about now, at times we find that at times people come up with ideas which are good, but then at the end of the day, they lack customers. Why? It's because the value is not really concrete enough to at least really appeal to a would-be customer that they would want to target at the end of the day. So the difference is basically that the VPC fits into the BMC. So either the two have to be at least put up clearly, but mainly the BMC is to help us know how now all components are put together to at least guarantee you business at the end of the day, which leads to at least clear revenue streams for your business. So now focusing more on the VPC, if you can see my screen right here, there are just some quick ideas here. So I just have one here first, which is saying most startups or businesses fail from lack of customers rather than from lack of a product. Then 2, it says an idea that does not solve the customer's need or problem is better worthless. And then 3, understanding your customers, that is, who are they and why would they want to buy from you? So when you think of value proposition, just think around any of these things. What are you solving for? And is it really the problem that is affecting your customers or your target audiences? Once you're able to answer this, then probably you'll be having a clear value proposition or a clear value for your good or service. And why we normally see that from what we have seen, a couple of businesses, enterprises, big and small, why most of them fail is because they focus most of their efforts on the product. But then how they focus on it is not actually customer inclusive. So in other words, you find that people just go in their rooms, they have these assumptions of their idea, they focus on what they want their idea to be like, but then they forget to focus on what other people would think of what that idea is to them. So in other words, first of all, digest it from the perspective of the end customer, not from you, the idea bearer or the business owner. So if you can look at the diagram right on your right, where there is a product and then customer. So before you even think of a product, first think of only and only the customer. So you draw your customer, which is basically that try to draw a clear picture of who your customer is. Maybe let's say for the case of health, maybe let's say my customer is IHK. In case maybe my idea is look at health. In case my customer is IHK, I want to be like, I want to first of all learn and understand more about IHK. Who is IHK? In terms of profile, I want to know what does IHK deal in? What is their profile of a hospital? Then now I come into what pains are they facing? Which challenges are they facing? That probably are limiting them from achieving what? Full business potential or capacity in that regard. Then after doing that, I'll be like, what does IHK think would really put a smile on their business in their regard? Basically, what do they want to see as a clear business being normal or business doing good at the end of the day? So the point is, I'm just trying to basically digest and maybe understand more IHK in terms of their pains, their gains, what they want to achieve, as opposed to me coming up with a product in my room or from my office, and then I take it to IHK and I'm like, you know what, IHK, I think you need this product. It is quite good. So that won't be applicable because one, you find that your assumptions probably don't align with their challenges or their ideas or their pains at the end of the day. So first of all, when you're coming up with a VPC, first draw your customer and list out their profile. So profile is more like the persona. How much money do they make? Where are they located? How many customers do they serve? And what is their potential market as well as a business? So in this case, we're basically trying to do a background survey of who exactly they are for you now to know the best approach you can use in terms of engaging them to give them now a product or service at the end of the day. So if you can see now, right on the left, after the customer, you now have a clear product, which is one being derived from the gains which your customer defined for you, and also the pain relievers, which derived from the pains that your customer had. So in other words, after you clearly define your customer, you're going to come up with gain creators and pain relievers, which at the end of the day are going to guarantee you a clear product or service, which is customer appealing or customer centric. In other words, right from the point of ideation, ensure that you are moving right on with your would-be customer in terms of engaging them for you to know what exactly they want to see in your product, not what you anticipate should be in your product. So that should be at least a bit more clear in that regard, because value is not to you, the idea bearer, but it is to the customer who's going to consume the product at the end of the day. So just to give us an example and a case study of what I just talked about here. I don't know if Colin, my screen is clear enough.
Yes, it is clear. We can be able to see.
Okay. So just of a case study, an example of a VPC. If you can see clearly well my screen. So here I have an idea. So my idea here is building an interactive web platform that provides experiential learning online for courses to teach people how to program. So just to give you an idea, my concept here is simple. I want to build a web platform where people can go online and then learn how to develop computer programs, to develop mobile applications, and more of the likes. But basically, I'm offering online courses for them. So that's my idea. So in this case, if I have an idea like that, I'll be like, okay, first of all, I want to understand these guys who want to learn programming online, or who want to build apps online, or websites online. Who are they? What do they want? So if you can see on my far right, where I have jobs. So jobs basically are my profile of customers. So these guys, one, they're clear, they want to learn web development. They want to maybe learn app development. Maybe they want to learn database development. But for the benefit of those of us who are not maybe in the IT sector, what I'm trying to do in this case is I'm trying to learn what these guys exactly want to, or maybe expect from my platform. They expect to be able to access courses, teaching them on app development, database development, and more of the likes. But then now to me, I should also maybe go an extra step to know, okay, these guys maybe have access to internet. They're within this age group. Maybe their location maybe is mainly Kampala, or is it the East, or is the West, basically. So I'm trying to basically segment them as a means of understanding who exactly they are, for me now to have a clear approach. So now once I'm done with putting out clearly what their profile is or what their customer jobs are, I now will come. What are their pains? What challenges are they facing that are stopping them from really accessing good quality online courses to learn how to program? So, so to me, clearly, their pains would be, it's overwhelming for them to get courses to learn online. That's one. So then two, the other pain is maybe the platforms they've used before have been so time consuming and maybe not intensive enough for them to learn. Then three, maybe the platforms they've used early on before mine, they've been confusing. Basically, they're not user experience friendly in that regard. So in other words, I'm quantifying so much on the pains and the challenges that they're facing. Now know how exactly I'm going to do what? Approach their challenges. So now once I really map out their pains, I'm going to now focus on the gains. So whereby I'll be like, yes, they're facing challenge ABCD, whereby maybe one challenge is it's time consuming for them to use other platforms or other means of learning how to program. So to me, in terms of the gains, I'll be like, okay, I would be able to offer them a platform which is going to guarantee them a practical application on how they can learn programming online. That's part of the gains that probably they expect from me. Then two, they should be expected to get quality courses whereby at the end of the day, they're able to do what? Be employable with their skills from my platform. Then three, at least they should be able to at least have gotten those quality skills, which they think are desired on the market stage. So basically for the gains, you're looking at what do they expect to get out from you after having solved their challenges in that regard. So that speaks to the segment where we had the pains in here on the far right. Okay, so then moving on, after you've mapped out the customer himself, where yes, you know their pains that they're facing, you know what they expect from you in terms of after you've solved their problem, now you come onto the product itself. So on the far left, where you can see now products and services, gain creators, and pain relievers. So now here you're going to first of all map out the pains and then pain relievers. So where I said their pains are, it's consuming to, okay, it's time consuming for them to learn from other platforms. It's confusing for other platforms. So I'll be like, okay, now for my platform, I'm going to give them a pain reliever, which maybe now will be, I'm going to offer them live chat features as they learn how to program or as they learn coding online to accomplish their end goals. So that's one pain reliever I'm giving them. So then two, in terms of a confusing platform, I'm going to offer them an intuitive or maybe design-friendly or maybe visual appearing platform which now at least is a bit more easy for them to follow through all the steps on how they can learn how to program online. So that's pain reliever 2. So pain reliever 3, since they said their pain was that other platforms have been overwhelming, or other modes of learning have been overwhelming. Now to me, I'll be like, my pain reliever in that regard would be, I'm going to offer them a very fast or maybe bit-sized platform, which is going to offer them very fast loading modules, very fast loading features, for them to be at least able to fluently follow through the courses and maybe learn on their own as well in that regard. So basically, if you look at this, basically matches the pains and then the solutions which you have for those pains to solve the challenges of the what? Of the target group in that regard. So after you've mapped out the pain relievers now, you're going to come to the gain creators. So yes, if this guy said our end goal is to be employable at the end of the day after learning, maybe it's for us to have practical knowledge. Now your creator in this case will be, I should be able to at least give them experiential learning. So also, I should be able to give them an aspect of, after they are taking a full course, they should be able to put up professional projects in that regard. So in other words, the gains that they want, you're going to match them with those clear aspects, which can clearly communicate that these guys are going to be able to gain from your platform in that regard. So after you have a clear understanding of all of these, now finally, you have a full product or service where now you know, okay, I'm going to offer a language-based platform, which is user-friendly, ABCD, offering these guys a practical application of coding online, as simple as that. In other words, basically, we've been just trying to define what value exactly are we giving to our customers, right from their consent, not from just our consent, in terms of what they expect to get out of it all. So since most of us are still at ideation phase, normally you're going to develop these as you personally, basing on assumptions, but then it's okay probably for you to as well, when it be, engage friends too or here. So let's see whether they could also give you insights in terms of what the actual pains are and what they would explain from your product or service for you now to be able to clearly define what value you're offering to your customers at the end of the day. So basically, colleagues, that is basically what speaks to what you would call a value proposition. So how you can present this, like I said earlier on as well, as long as you can have a PowerPoint or a document or a paper, at least clearly showing us what your customer's profile is, that's their age, their gender, where they're located, probably what they also maybe expect from you. Then now tell us what their pains are that your problem, sorry, that your solution is going to solve. To also maybe be able to come up clearly, and maybe now show us what they expect to get from you at the end of the day. So once you have that all in common, now it'll be easy for you to now come up with a customer-centric product, which is appealing to your market rather than appealing to you as the idea bearer in that regard. I don't know if that was a bit more sufficient, colleagues.
Yes, Alan, it was sufficient. In fact, we are getting comments. I'll read one from Bwire Oscar, says, wow, you have really broken down the VPC for me. I now fully understand. Annette says, thank you for the VP summary. Kudos, Alan. And many more comments to that effect. Dennis Otim says, thumbs up to you, Alan. The explanations are crystal clear. So I think that is testament that you've really done a good job based on the feedback from our participants. So I'm just going to respond to a few NES related questions. Alan, I would ask you to look through the Q&A as I do this.
Okay.
I see you have an eye for interesting questions. And then when I'm done, you can tackle like 1 or 2 or 3. Our plan is to make sure that we close not later than 28 minutes from right now. So as Alan gets through those, members, we see a lot of concerns and questions around the submission process. Yes, the BMC and the VPC are to be submitted on your using your credentials on the submission portal. Those who have challenges, we've received some email and of course comment on chat about challenges. We plan to have a session tomorrow. This session is going to be led by our friend Dixon Mushabe. He will be able to demonstrate to us how we can be able to submit our BMC and VPCs. So those who are having trouble submitting, our sincere apologies, but we are working around the clock to make sure that you are able to make the submission. So do not send your submissions on email yet. Please endeavor to wait so that we can be able to sort you out and you log in. If you have other specific challenges, please send us an email, info@nes.co.ug, and we'll be able to respond to you. The templates are going to be sent to you. The downloadable templates will be sent to you as attachments, and you'll be able to download them and be able to fill them and then submit. So be patient with us for those who are not able to submit. Alan, did you pick something interesting?
Yes. I actually had one from Issa. So Issa just wants some bit of more clarity on the gains and also the gain creators.
Please
so
take
Issa,
it away.
Yeah, okay. So just to give you a quick elaborate example, let's look at a platform like Facebook. So Facebook helps us stay in touch together. Okay, their vision is to connect the world. So you as a person, as Issa, who could go on Facebook, your aim is you want to stay in touch with a friend or a family member. So to you, your gain would be staying in touch with my family members and friends. So now the gain creator is basically how are they going to be able to do that? In this case, the gain creator would be probably a chat room, or maybe I would say a video conferencing tool on Facebook. In that case, so all those are basically the gain creator. Basically, you're mapping what the customer expects to see at the end of the day, and now how you are arriving at it exactly. So in this case, for the sample of Facebook, the gains that we expect from them is to stay in touch with maybe friends and family. Now the gain creator is maybe that chat box, is maybe that video conferencing tool, is maybe FaceTime, and more of the likes which could be, of course, involved in there. But basically, how are you arriving at the gain that your customers want to see? I don't know if I've answered that, Issa.
Issa will respond to us, and I think, yeah, he said, thank you so much, Alan. An example of Facebook has made it very clear. I think Issa is satisfied with the explanation.
Okay. Can I have one here from Napa? Yeah, so on Napa, yeah. So customer jobs basically, okay, I know the word is a bit high level, but customer jobs basically means the customer profile or customer persona. So customer persona is basically who are your customers in terms of what are their characteristics? How much do they earn? Where do they live? What do they engage in day to day? How much money do they have? So basically, it's just to help you to focus on the right customers for you who will be able to at least appeal to your product or service at the end of the day. So once you're able to at least map out what your customer persona is, you find that it will be so much easier for you now zero down to the thing of the customer segment after now having known who your real customer is at the end of the day. I don't know if that is answered on Napa.
Yeah, I'll keep tracking on Napa to see his response on chat. Have you picked something else that is interesting?
Okay, so there's something here from Edwin. In simple terms, the gains are what exactly? Yes, Edwin, in simple terms, gains is what the customer expects. And what you use to handle the gains of the customer is the gain creator. Absolutely, Edwin. So basically, which tool are you going to use to at least create that gain or that happiness that the customer wants to see from your business or your idea at the end of the day?
Okay, thank you, Alan. Joel gives a quick one here, says, can I present my VPC in form of short sentences?
Okay, actually, sentences are so long, I would say. Like I said, I would prefer just listing. Why listing is because it makes it so precise and also gives someone the urge to read. Because now, ideally for the VPC, it should be only and only on one page. only one page. Why? When you have something so long to read, it probably means you either can't really explain which value you're offering to the target goal or maybe target customer. But when you just have things listed out well enough, at least it makes it more precise. So if you can just look at the example I just showed you here on screen, if you can just have something as simple as this on paper, where you're basically listing out the jobs here, just bulleting, only bulleting. Because when you go into like explaining, one, it will show that the judge that probably this guy isn't really well versed with the language of communicating on what exact value he's offering. So at least try to just show lists or bullets of what you're trying to at least explain. Just pointers basically to make it appealing for someone to like read.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Let me pick a few here as you also look out for others. Kagabo Eugene, I haven't understood how to deal with BMC and VPC. Will you send us templates to fill? Yes, NES is going to send you downloadable templates, which you can be able to fill. Here Alan says, can you talk briefly about the product side of the VPC? Alan, would you like to chew on this?
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Take it away.
Okay, yeah. So actually, why I didn't really dwell into so much the product size is because I thought since we are all still at an ideation phase, I would at least be able to use this chance to at least develop something. But to just maybe give you more light, is that in most cases, when you're still at maybe ideation, it is hard for you to explain to someone what you expect to see as a product at the end of the day. So for the VPC, I want to give you guys just a simple insight, maybe or maybe assignment. Whenever you are coming up with an idea, try to develop the simplest version of the product, which you normally call a prototype, a sketch, or an MVP. And now this can come in a couple of forms, but the best form, most so when you're still at addition phase, would be in this way. Just come up with a simple video or sketch trying to imitate what a would-be product would be in this case. But in the sense of like, just come up with a brief brochure explaining what your product does in terms of either its features. In case it's a consumer good, just tell us how you're packaging it, how you're selling it, basically about that. Maybe in case it's for the cases of manufacturing, just give us a brief of how you're going to be able to at least ship this product to your customers, or how they are consuming it at the end of the day. So in other words, just have a brief sketch or prototype or MVP, which will be in the form of text, an image, just to show someone what it looks like at the end of the day. But let's get them intuitive in terms of capturing that interest for being at least involved more into that idea or product. So normally, maybe I'll give you a very simple example. What you can do, you can just go online and briefly check out a tool called it's called eDraw. eDraw. It's a mock-up tool, but basically, it's going to help you just draw a sample of a desired product at the end of the day. But the main aim is to put it in form of like a presentable format for someone to at least pick insights into what you're exactly trying to build for them at the end of the day, beyond just normal text. So on the VPC where we have products and services, basically you're now drawing from whatever you've captured all along from the customer, gains, pains, gain creators. Now for you to zero down to what actually your customers want. So in other words, you're basically now showing us your customers want a product which is solving problem A with solution B, as simple as that. So just make it also so brief and precise.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Samuel Etiaku, I have joined a little bit late, but have enjoyed the VP summary. Please kindly do the same for BPC. Alan went through this at the beginning of his presentation. So we will be able to share the link to this meeting on our YouTube channel. You just go to YouTube, search for NACE, and you'll be able to find it not later than tomorrow, and you can catch up with what Alan was able to share with us. And you can be able to revise and educate yourself more. Alan from Gerard Nwajira, what part of the VPC do you extract to fit in the BMC part of value proposition? Alan, would you like to chew on that?
Exactly. Yeah, so definitely, if you can look back on the VPC, the final part is the product and services. Tell us what your product or services offers. Is it helping someone communicate? Is it helping someone travel? Basically, to give you an example here, maybe let's say we're looking at Uber here. In case it's, for example, like Uber, we know all of us that maybe Uber is enough for us to book rides around the city to get from place A to place B. So where you have products and services is the part that you maybe get and now put in your value proposition of the BMC. But maybe just to give you a bit of more elaboration is that for the case of Uber, here you have things like online bookings for rides, 2, online payments within the Uber app as another value. Then 3, conveniency in terms of selecting a range of rides. You get, because basically what Uber offers you is 1, much as you're able to book a driver, as I put it, yes, you can choose which kind of vehicle you want to get conveniency with things like UberX. And also 2, conveniency for payments, for you to basically use mobile money as opposed to using hard cash. So basically the values there, they are very simple. That 1, you're offering conveniency. 2, you're saving someone's time. Then 3, you're offering them a quality product which is able to at least help them book a ride at the end of the day. So basically, where you have products and services, just extract that and put it on the BMC part where you have value proposition. But just to give you a hint, focus on things of like quality, efficiency, time saving, and more of the likes in there. So at least clearly know exactly now what you're offering. But then don't forget, as you list all of these out, tell us no. Are you offering a consumer good? Are you offering a technology? Are you offering a service, which is at least able to give someone now all those details of conveniency, time saving, ABCD, but make it clear whether it is any capacity platform, whether it is a packaged good, whether it is a service, and more of the likes. I don't know if that's clear.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. As we come close to winding up, let me, I have 2, I'll combine them. One is from Janet. What's the difference between pain relievers, products and services? And then Mark says, would pain relievers be similar to gain creators? You could perhaps throw some more light on this.
Okay.
Alan?
Yeah, sure. Okay, maybe starting with the pain relievers bit of it all. So yes, pain relievers share a line between gain creators. Though the only difference is one, is that pain relievers is just I would say the process of how you arrive to gain creators. Maybe going back to the example which I did share, that in case you have Facebook, for us as customers, we expect to be able to connect to our friends, maybe a family through Facebook. That's our gain. So the gain creator, Facebook is offering this platform, which is having chat, which is having posting of comments, which is maybe having also video conferencing. But then now, the pain reliever itself is now the actual process. So in this case, for your product, you should be able to now just summarize the whole journey, which is now having a social networking tool to solve the challenge. You get it? So basically, the pain relievers, in this case, we are basically summarizing all gain creators. You are summarizing the chatting, summarizing the video conferencing, and summarizing probably the FaceTiming by maybe saying you are offering us a fast chatting system with video conferencing, with also maybe FaceTiming in there. Because recall, in the pains, you maybe be having things like the platform is maybe a bit slow to load, maybe it's time consuming. So the payment reliever in there is just saying we are having an easy to load chatting system, an easy to post system, maybe a more quality picture refining system in that regard. So in other words, pain relievers are also derived from the breakdowns of the gain creators in that regard, where you're basically just telling us how the pains are now being solved this side round on the pain relievers in that regard. Quick one on what Janet shared.
Would you want me to repeat it?
Yeah, to re-echo that, yeah.
Okay. What's the difference between pain relievers, products, and services?
Okay. So pain relievers, like I said, okay, maybe just go back again. Pain relievers is the opposite of how you are going to solve the pains of the customer. Maybe just to give you a more elaborate example here, back to the thing. Okay, just here a minute. Okay, so Janet, if you can look at where we have this elaboration of my example, where the pain is, it is time consuming and intensive for someone to learn online. Maybe it is consuming. The pain reliever in this case would be maybe having an intuitive design of the platform for someone to be able to navigate easily around the platform. So basically, we are breaking down what the actual product is going to be like in terms of solving the actual problem. So then when it comes to the product and services, it is now the holistic product that you're offering to your customer, which is now going to have your gain creators and also pain relievers. So basically, the product is combining gain creators and pain relievers into the final product or goal. Maybe for the bit of phrasing, it is that you maybe will say you're going to offer a product or service which maybe offers live chat features, maybe which also offers experiential learning. So basically, you're combining gain creators and pain relievers to give us an idea of what that would be product is at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. And I think this is what Joel Porter is talking about. Your examples are really good, but can you give more? Sorry, your examples are really good, but can you give more example on agricultural business like poultry farmers?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
That's
he's
talking.
Then Joel Porter, if you could also pick this one. Yeah, is it better for me to put 2 gain creators and 2 pain relievers for each gain and pain? I thought you'd take those 2 at a go.
Okay, sure. Okay, so starting with the example just for the sake of agriculture. So one, when it comes to value, try to first of all look out for those things maybe which others out there are not doing. Because when it comes to agric, you'll see that one, poultry is not new. Maybe farming is not new as well in that regard. So the thing is like, try to look at the currently existing things that farmers are doing. Then look at the challenges which those farmers are facing in terms of their customer demand. Then now for your case, you'll now be able to look at those to see now how you could translate a new value to propose to your customers now, in this case. So maybe if I maybe take an example of maybe like poultry farming. Poultry farming, I would say, for example, one of the pains of my customers is they say I take long to deliver. 1, maybe 2, I'm delivering maybe less quantity, maybe in case I'm having things like restaurants or hotels, maybe as my customers. The things like those where maybe it's to do with time delivery, quality. Now here, my pain reliever here would be, from day 1 on, I want to think about things like partnering with other logistics suppliers to deliver these goods or maybe the poultry produce fast enough to what? To my customers. And now the gain creator here would be offering a last mile distribution produce access platform or suppliers in that regard, or partnering with other suppliers to make sure that maybe my produce reaches fast enough to my customers. So in other words, depending on what your business is, just look at what the challenges, first of all, are, then map them straight to what you think would be new in terms of game changers for your customers. So let's change the old way of doing things to now the new way in that regard. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. I see we are really running short of time. First and foremost, I would like to once again thank our participants for engaging our resource person, Alan. You have been very awesome. The compliments that came in were good, and we are happy that you're able to learn from this. We also want to thank Alan. Those who know how to use the clapping emoji, please give him a clap. Alan has done Alan has done an incredible job. We thank you very much for being available and being resourceful to our team. So in the interest of time, members, there's a lot to share, but we are still here. These sessions are still ongoing. We'll have other opportunities to share. Tomorrow is another day. But we appreciate your time. I'll give Alan a minute to give a parting shot, and then after that, I will invite Dennis to come and give his closing remarks and also guidance on the next sessions to follow. So I'll start with you, Alan, to give your parting shot, and then we switch to Dennis. Alan?
Okay. First and foremost, thank you so much, Collins and Nes and Dennis for putting this up together, but also to the colleagues who are on call. Like I said earlier on, I am Alan. I'm also passionate about entrepreneurship. And on behalf of the Makerere Innovation and Incubation Center with Nes, I'd just like to say that I know this journey is just beginning right as of now, but when it comes to what we just shared today with all colleagues on call, put a lot of your emphasis on the value proposition canvas. Because one, as long as you're able to at least derive the value that you're offering, it won't be hard for you at least to derive a best model out of what you'll be able to at least offer in this regard. So to me, just go online, check out the simplest business models, canvases, and also value proposition canvases. And in quick, I'll maybe give you an example. Just go check out one for the ones you know about of Facebook, Airbnb, as well as Uber, and also SafeBorder. They'll give you a clear idea of what this could be in detail, at least just in case you need to get any more insights in there. But one, like I said, just put a lot of your emphasis on the value proposition canvas for NES and UNDP to know whether your idea is really of value. So with that regard, colleagues, thank you so much, and hope to stay in touch next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Dennis?
Thank you very much, Alan. I think for what you missed in timekeeping, you really nailed in terms of the content delivery on the business model canvas, as well as touching on the key value proposition canvas. I missed a bit of it somewhere in the middle there, but I was following the charts and really excited to see what we're working on together. What Alan didn't mention is the great work that we have done with Makerere Innovation Incubation Center since 2018, picking up some of the participants in the Youth Idea in the LEAP conference from various universities and actually going ahead to incubate them. I've seen some of them even go on to join other incubation centers. And with them, we're working on an incubation model that has potential to be replicated across all universities and vocational colleges in Uganda, doing these kind of things year in, year out. So thank you very much, Alan, and your colleagues who have not been able to join us. And thank you very much, Collins, for stepping in to do the moderation. Really very much appreciated. With hindsight, I think you should have delivered one or two other sessions, but it's good to have you on standby. And I know that you'll be joining the rest of the judges with the business incubation aspects. So thank you very much. And to all our participants who have been there with us since 9 o'clock. One of the things I love about you guys is that you keep time. And as I mentioned earlier, for those that may be at work and not able to attend, these sessions are being recorded. So there will be a link if you follow, if I could ask Ivy to share the link once again in the chat box for our YouTube channel. So go onto our YouTube channel and you'll access all the content from the masterclasses, from the thematic sessions, including yesterday's and today's sessions. So thank you very much. Once again, tomorrow is a key day where we'll be wrapping everything up. we have noted with concern quite a number of you are having IT issues. Some of them are not really very significant or major, but some appear to be. So Dixon Mushabe and myself will be here to address some of those issues around how you attach your business model canvases, how you attach your value proposition canvases, what else you can actually attach. So there will be two sessions. One is the pitching, what we expect to see, which is essentially bringing everything together and presenting it in such a way that the judges will be able to see what you're talking about and give you the marks that you deserve. Then the other is, once you've done that, how do you actually upload it onto your account? So tomorrow, come prepared, we'll be on time and we'll finish again at around 11:30 on time. But those will be the two key things. And after that, it's over to you. We've given you the whole of Friday to make sure that you polish up, pan a bit, and make sure that you upload your ideas. And hopefully one of you, in not less than a couple of weeks, will be the winner of 100 million shillings. It's a fantastic opportunity. But with those few words, I'd like to thank everyone that's participated, my team, the UNDP team that has been online, Dorothy on sign language, Peter, Albert on the IT side of things, Ivy, Jimmy, the whole crew. Thank you very much. We'll do this again tomorrow. And hopefully one of you guys will be very happy that we'll put this thing together. So thank you and have a good day, everyone.